Alright, this will be my third time recording this because my phone ran out of storage for a third time, even though I deleted like 5 apps. But now I basically made sure that it won't do that again. So, yeah. How I'm going to start off this story, Deku's going to have a best friend. His name is Yuta Tamaki. Yuta Tamaki is, Tamaki's younger brother from the big three. The shy one. So basically, Yuta Tamaki, his quirk is about the same as Tamaki's, but it's slightly better because if he eats something, he can still become it. Like, his quirk is like the same as Tamaki's, right? But the difference is, like, even after he's eaten something, he'll still be able to become it. But the drawbacks of that is, it's not as strong as if he just ate it. So, he could, like, let's say he ate a crab, right? And he tried to break a rock, and he broke it, like, within, like, a minute, we'll say. If he didn't eat the crab at the same day as, if he already, processed the crab already, then it would take him, like, 5 minutes. So it would, like, be significantly weaker. And another drawback is, unlike how if he eats something, he can combine it with something else, he can't combine it. He can only, stick with that one thing. So basically, like, Tamaki, he can, like, so let's say Tamaki eats a crab and a octopus, right? He can use octopus tentacles and a crab, right? But the difference is that with what is his name? Yuta Tamaki, instead of how he can use double, instead of how he uses double, he can only use double when he's just eaten it. So if he ate it like, a day ago and he already, pooped it out, then he can't use 2. He can only use 1 at a time if he hasn't eaten that thing already. So, like, if he wants to, like, have wings, he has to eat, like, if he wants to be able to fly like an eagle, he has to eat eagle once, and he'll be able to fly like it. But he flies faster if it's fresh. He's able to transform into more things if it's all fresh. But, he can still transform into older stuff. And the reason why I'm making him more OP is because I really don't feel like being like, he ate this before the match, Because some people will be like, oh, that's bullshit, you said nothing about him eating that, or this or that. Or you said he ate this before. Because I really don't feel like, having issues with you guys. So, yeah. And you already can tell what the ship is. It's going to be Ryuku. And I've already recorded this 3 times, so forgive me if I'm a little bit hasty, and forgive me if the jokes suck a little bit, alright? Also, listen, I have this friend, right? I don't even know why, actually, no, now I remember why I was about to say this, alright? So, if you're wondering, why did you add Yuta? Like, what's he about? My friend, his name is New God of Destruction. He's an amazing what-ifer. I'm gonna put his link in the description, after this vid. If I remember. I'm not gonna lie, I probably will forget. But I'll attempt, alright? So, when I put his link in the description, check him out, because he is funny as fuck, alright? He is much funnier than me. So, yeah. Check out his channel. He's very close to 1,000. He's at, like, 700 now. So, help a brother out, alright? Because he's, like, we're rivals, alright? His words, as well as mine. We are rivals. He is the Vegeta to my Goku, and I need him to be at least close to me. That's not what I meant, but I just said that to piss him off, because I know he's watching this. Yeah, I know you're watching this, weirdo. But, alright, so after, let me get back into the what if now. So, I'm gonna skip a lot of the stuff that I said before because I really don't feel like repeating it again. Basically, Deku's friends with Tamaki. He saved, instead of that one kid, being saved by Deku from Bakugo, and Deku getting beat up, it's Tamaki, or not, yeah, Tamaki, we'll say Tamaki for now. It's Tamaki instead of, the other random who we'll never see again. And, Deku's just basically friends with Tamaki the entire time. So, we're going to the beginning of the anime. Bakugo says the same old thing. He's like, the only person who could maybe get in with maybe Tamaki, because his quirk is very strong. Like, even Bakugo can't refute that, because he's fought Tamaki at times, because one time, like, he was fighting Deku, because Deku, he's more aggressive in this one, because his friend is more passive, right? So he has to be more aggressive for his friend. So like now if Bakugo messes with, Tamaki, then he'll fight, but sometimes when Bakugo messes with Deku, he won't really, attack back, which well he'll attack back, but it's like since Bakugo has the upper hand since he attacked first, he never can really do shit. Unless like if Tamaki is the one getting bullied, Deku will basically like jump Bakugo before Bakugo can even do anything, and it'll take Bakugo's goons to get him off. But by then, Tamaki has already like gotten his bearings and is ready to kick ass as well. So Bakugo has fought Tamaki. He's almost lost a few times, but we'll still say that Bakugo won for now. So basically, Deku, he's like, all right, well, that's cool. Like, basically, like everybody's like, yeah, Tamaki's quirk is pretty strong. Deku does agree because Tamaki is very strong, and Tamaki's just being quiet because he's shy. So after that, after class, right, Deku, he's heading towards like his house, and Tamaki was like, I have to go grab milk from the grocery store, so because his dad wouldn't do it, or his dad did it and never came back. But other than sad jokes, after that, Deku heads there. He meets the Sledge villain. Gets fucked up by him. All Might shows up, saves Deku. Deku does the same shit where he grabs onto All Might. All Might doesn't drop the bottle this time. He does not drop it. And basically, after that, Deku is just walking, right? Because he had to talk with All Might. All Might's like, yeah, you can't be a hero. Yada, yada, yada. So Deku, he gave up. He didn't give up. He's like, fuck All Might. He doesn't know shit. Like, that's what he's thinking right now. Because remember, he's more aggressive. He believes in himself more. Because he's caught Bakugo lacking sometimes. I ain't even gonna lie to you. He's caught him lacking like once or twice. So he has more confidence. Like, hey, if I can catch Bakugo off guard and beat him, then imagine what I can do, like to villains who are probably gonna be weaker than him. Because Bakugo's quirk is very strong. Can't even lie. Bakugo's a dick, but his quirk is pretty strong, which is sad. And then after that, Deku, he gets down. He sees that the hero Edgeshot and Ryuku are fighting. And, in this one, Ryuku and Edgeshot are a thing, right? For now. Because some foul shit's about to happen. Basically, Ryuku, she beats up some villains. Edgeshot does the same, right? And, basically, a villain, like, is about to shoot at, a villain is about to shoot at Ryuku and Edgeshot, because they're basically like standing like in front of each other, but like basically like Ryuku's like facing away from the guy, so basically like he sees the guy pull the gun, right? So Edgeshot, being the amazing boyfriend he is, jumps out of the way and doesn't even grab Ryuku. He just worries about himself, and not I because I'm not Edgeshot. He just worries about him and himself. So, basically Deku's like, he sees this, and he's like, that fucking bastard. So he like, basically, like, runs, and he pushes, Ryuku out of the way, and Ryuku's like, what the fuck? She looks back, and, she sees, like, Deku, and then, bam! Like, blood, like, just shoots at it, like, from his back. Because he got shot in, like, the lung, or, like, he got shot in, like, an artery in the lung. Basically, she's like, what the fuck? And, immediately the police tackle the guy who shot Deku. And Deku's like, damn, this shit hurt. Oh my god, this shit hurt. He's like, oh, I really did not think this was gonna be that bad. She was like, what the fuck? Why did you do that? Yada, yada, yada. And, basically Deku's like, well, that dumbass over there decided to leave you instead of actually, helping. So I thought, why not save someone's life? Basically, she's like, what the fuck, you could have died and stuff like that. Deku's like, well, I mean, you could have as well, if you really think about it. Because he's viewing her life over his, because he's quirkless, and he thinks that he doesn't really belong to society. Like, society won't really care if he's gone, which, to be real, that, like, other than, like, Inko, Mitsuki, maybe, and, Tamaki, basically, no one will really care other than, those three. And Deku's dad, who's going to be in this. Because I decided why not. And, Inko, she hears about this. She sees what happened over the news, and, she immediately rushes over. And so did Tatsumaki. He was in the grocery store. And we'll say there's a TV, and he sees, like, Deku, like, got shot. So he immediately starts like he transforms his back into like wings. He starts flying there. You know, even though like a few people are like, you can't use your quirk, he doesn't care right now. That's his best friend. So you know they're rushing there. You know, ER comes. Deku was, you know, actually not, ER doesn't come yet. Deku's just basically like on the ground. He's like, damn, this shit hurt. How do you guys do with getting shot? Like, this shit hurt. She's like, simple, you don't get shot, you idiot. Like she's like, why would you even do that? And Deku's like, cause why not? I'm basically useless to society since I'm quirkless. Yada yada yada. Ah, fuck, I pulled a leg. I pulled a muscle. I'll be alright. So after that, you know, she's like, alright, just, you know, survive, the ER's on their way. You know, basically, she's like, Headshot, just go get the fucking, like, ER, because she's pissed off at him. So he goes for, like, the ER. They're on their way now, because, you know, Headshot warned them. So basically, he's talking with Ryuki. He's like, you know, he's a pretty bad boyfriend. She's like, yeah, I just realized that now. And then he's like, damn, that's tough, though. Like, you know, she's like, what is it? Yeah, you know. And he's like, he basically flirts with her, because why not? He's fucking about to die in his eyes. He's like, to be honest, you know, you're kind of hot. You had to go with some trash-ass nigga like that. And she's like, alright, you know, you can flirt with me when, you know, you're not in critical condition. Deku's like, well, I mean, it's now or never, to be real. You know, she's like, you know, she's chuckling at this point because Deku's just making jokes. And, like, she's like, all right, well, I should stop laughing because, you know, you're fucking bleeding out right here. And, you know, she's making sure that, you know, she's, like, wrapping up the wound. Deku's like, damn, this shit hurt. You know, he's still, like, bleeding aggressively, though. So she's like, all right, we got to do something else about this, you know. So, basically, Deku's like, yeah, honestly, I don't think you can really do anything. Thanks, though. I appreciate it, you know. She's like, wow, like, why the hell would you even do that, you know? What gave you the idea? And Deku's like, I originally yelled that, you know, there's a gunman, but you didn't hear me since the whole crowd was cheering. And then, when I saw Headshot jumped out of the way, without grabbing you, I just jumped in the way. And she's like, damn it. She's like, damn it. Because she thinks that, you know, Deku's about to die because of her. He's like, don't blame yourself because of this, alright? It was because of him. He's the one who's trash, alright? Not you. And then she's like, how, like, you know, how am I supposed to not blame myself? I'm a hero, I should be on guard for this stuff. Deku's like, yeah, maybe, but, you know, you learn from your mistakes, right? You know, basically, they're talking at this point, because what else can they really do? So, you know, the ER gets there, he's like, well, looks like I'm about to be sent off, you know. Basically, he thinks that, you know, this is the last time he'll really get to talk to her. So, you know, with his surprise, she gets in the fucking car, too. She gets into the ER thing, too. She's like, yeah, I'm watching your back until you make a full recovery. Deku's like, yeah, I don't look forward to that, you know, because he doesn't think he's about to make it. So, you know, they're trying to do shit, but, you know, at this point, Deku's blacked out. You know, Tamaki, he's following the fucking, the ER, and, like, he saw Inko on the way, and Inko's driving there pretty fast, so he basically, like, knocks on the window next to her, you know, and then she unlocks it, opens, you know, Tamaki opens the door, he jumps in there, he's like, we gotta save, you know, Izuku, yada, 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 because, you know, he's able to talk to her because, you know, he knows her, because she is, like, Aunt Inko to him as well. So, after that, after a while, they get to the hospital, you know, Deku's, like, being rolled in, and Inko's like, how's my baby boy, yada, yada, yada. They're like, to be honest, ma'am, he's in critical condition, and he probably won't make it. Like, you know, he gives it to her straight. He's like, he probably won't make it. You know, basically, like, Tamaki and Inko are crying, but he's like, well, do you want to come here and, you know, hear his last words or anything like that? You know, they immediately rush in there, and they see, you know, basically Deku with, like, one eye barely open. He's like, hey, how you guys doing? Like, you know, he's trying to, like, keep the mood up, because, you know, he knows that he's gonna die. Like, they told him, yeah, you're probably not gonna make it. We're gonna attempt to save you, but you most likely won't make it. So Deku's like, yeah, I'm sorry, you know. He's like, I can't really say anything other than that. I'm sorry. You know, Inko's like, what happened? Yada, yada, yada. Ryuko, she's there, so she, like, is like, save your breath, I'll explain, She explains the situation. She blames herself in the middle of it. Deku's like, don't blame yourself. He keeps saying that. But, she doesn't listen because she's dense. But, But then after that, Inko doesn't blame her at all because she blames Edshot. She's pissed off at Edshot. She's like, I'm going to fucking sue that guy, but you better survive, yada, yada, yada. But Deku's like, yeah, honestly, Mom, I'm not making it. Like, he's like, yeah, I can see Grandma from here. Like, she's like, your grandma's alive. He's like, yeah, but it's a freaking metaphor, because at this point, it hurts a lot. So he does not care. He's like, it's a fucking metaphor. She's like, I get that you're on your deathbed, but don't curse with me. Deku's like, alright, I see how it is. Like, you really gonna be like that? I'm about to die and you're gonna be like that? Which, Deku's chuckling a bit. He's like, alright, well, he's like, don't worry too much, Mom, I can always be replaced. He's like, yeah, I can always be replaced. She's like, no, you can't, you're my, Zuko, yada, yada, yada. Basically, Deku's like, yeah, I love you, you've always been the one person who supported me throughout my life, and, I appreciate you. Basically, that's what he tells her, and he's like, Yuta. And then Yuta looks at him. He's basically shaking because he's sad and scared for Deku. He's like, Yuta, listen to me very closely. He pulls Yuta closer. He's like, stop being a bitch. Like, he's like, stop being a bitch. And Yuta looks at him all confused. He's like, I shouldn't have said it like that. I'm sorry. The pain is really talking right now. And he's like, listen, you need to talk to people more. You need to be more outgoing, all right? Right now, I was more talkative for you because, I'm your friend. But he's like, you need to go out there and make new friends, all right? Because I'm not going to be around for much longer. So, Yuta's basically crying. He's like, nah, come on, man. You can't do this. Like, what happened to us being the best heroes ever? Deku's like, you can be the best hero ever for me, right, man? Yuta basically, he's crying. He's like, yeah, of course. He's just crying. Fucking, he's bawling out. Deku, he looks at Ryuko. He's like, hey, can you do me a favor? And she's like, what is it? He's like, can you watch out for him? Because I'm worried about him. He probably, won't listen to my advice too much. He might listen, though. Honestly, I hope he gets a girlfriend even, Which, Yuta will be getting a girlfriend. Maybe not in this part, but he will be getting a girlfriend eventually. And this is for you, my friend. You know who you are. You know who you are. So, after that, Deku is basically like, alright, well, this shit hurts. And, like, they basically pull him into the room. They're like, alright, we're, like, about to start the process, Basically, Inko's like, stay strong, Deku's like, I love you, Mom, He gets pulled in there, It's been, like, an hour. The doctor comes back, his head is down. He's like, I'm sorry. Like, he didn't make it. No. Inko, she falls to her knees. She's crying, Yuta's basically bawling out at this point. He's like, it's not fair. He's like, he's just cursing at the world. He's like, damn it. Ryuko, she has her head down in shame, There are a few tears because, Deku did jump in the fucking way to save her life. So, he's like, I'm very sorry for your loss. Inko's like, it's fine. She calls up Hasashi because Hasashi is, overseas. He's not like a fucking awful parent, but he's overseas. So basically, he's like, oh, hello, Inko, what's going on? How's Izuku and all that? She's like, Hasashi, I'm so sorry. Izuku, he passed away. Hasashi, he's like, what? He's at work right now because it's dark for them, but in America it's pretty like much morning. He's like, what? And he yelled this out, and his boss is like, what's going on, Hasashi? He's like, my son, he's like, what happened to him? Basically, he tells him what happened. He's like, I need to leave now, And, the boss understands because he's not a dickhead. Like, come on. He's like, all right, we understand. He immediately books a flight immediately for Japan. And Deku's funeral is to be held in 4 weeks from then. So, after that, Deku is basically falling in his mind. He's like, what the hell's going on here? Basically, Deku, he opens his eyes, he sees like this little like blue pop up, and it's like, do you want to become a player? And then Deku's like, huh, a player, huh? What does that entail? Like, what do I get if I become a player? And like basically, like he reads top right, it says, you will die in 15 seconds if you do not answer yes or no. If you answer no, you will die. If you answer yes, you will become a player. Deku's like, shit, what else am I gonna do then? He's like, huh, he's trying to think about it. He's like, what should I do? What should I do? What should I do? What should I do? He's like, alright, I got an idea. And, he decides to become a player, right? And before he can, even go back to his world, he's put through a tutorial. And basically the tutorial, because I'm adding my own shit to this. I'm not going to just make it go to, I'm not going to make it go to just solo leveling logic, because that would be boring. So basically, Deku, he's getting the tutorial. He's being told what the penalties are, what happens if he doesn't do his daily quest, yada, 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 stuff like that. So Deku's like, damn, alright, well, I gotta do my daily quests and stuff. Because he knows that they are important now. So after that, Deku is like, alright, well, I got my shit to do now. So he wakes up and, he's in a coffin. Not even gonna lie to you, he's in a coffin. He's like, what the fuck? He listens. He hears talking, He peeks it open a little bit, He sees that Inko is saying something about how much, she loves and misses Zuko. He also sees Bakugo in there in a monkey suit, in a suit, basically. And Deku tries not to laugh because Bakugo, he thinks Bakugo looks stupid in a suit. Which, I guess you could say. He sees Mitsuki in a dress. He sees, basically, like, Tamaki there as well in a dress. And the big three are there as well because they knew Deku. And Mirio was pretty cool with Deku. So he's sad, So is Tamaki and so is Nejire because they were all pretty cool with Deku. Because, basically Tamaki was worried that Deku would never have, or not Tamaki was worried that Deku would never have friends. Tamaki was worried that Yuta would never have friends because he's a lot like, because, Yuta is a lot like Tamaki. So basically, after that, Deku, he's like, alright, he's like, alright, so what do I do now? He sees that someone else is stepping up, it's like, it's Ryuko. He's like, oh shit, she came here, Basically, Ryuko is basically like talking about how Deku was like a really amazing person and yada yada. And Deku is like, huh, how do I tell them I'm back, Basically, Deku, he's like, huh, like, because everyone's looking down and crying, and basically, like, Ryuko is facing, like, the other way from him, so he's like, huh, I have an idea. So, basically, he sneakily gets up, right, basically, she's talking, right, and Deku, like, covers her eyes, and she's like, what the hell, and he's like, guess who, and then she's like, wait, what, everybody looks up, because and then they see, like, Deku. But we'll say since he went through the tutorial, he looks like Jinwoo already, because I said that he did the workouts, but nah, he went through the tutorial and just already, like, comes out looking like Jinwoo. So he's like, yo, and then they're like, who the hell are you? Yada, 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 why are you doing this? This is a funeral. He's like, yeah, it's my funeral. Like, you think I can't crash my own funeral? And they're like, excuse me? He's like, Izuku Midoriya? He says the date of birth. He says, his birthday. He says... Like, he basically, like, is like, do you want any more proof? They're like, yeah, you could have just read it, and yada, yada, yada. He's like, Tatsumaki, the first time you used your quirk, you transformed into, what's that called? We'll say something stupid, like, a chicken. Tatsumaki, he's like, but Izuku was the only person who was there with me when I used my quirk, and I only told him, because I was scared that everyone would laugh at me. And, basically, he's also like, Ryuko, you feel bad because you think that I'm the reason you died, or, you're the reason I died, which I'm alive, so, yeah. Inko is like, Izuku, like, she's like, you're not Izuku, yada, yada, yada. Basically, like, Deku says, when I was pronounced quirkless, you, instead of comforting me at the time, you told me sorry, which you kept telling me that you regretted. She did say that, like, that she regretted saying that sorry instead of, like, assuring him that he could be a hero. So, Inko realizes, like, this is Deku and, basically tackles him into a hug. So does Tatsumaki. So does, Ryuko, because she thinks that, she thought that Deku was killed because of her, so she was, like, super depressed about it. And, basically, big three, basically everyone except for, like, Bakugo. Bakugo's like, how the hell are you alive? Yada, yada, yada. Deku's like, to be real with you, I don't know. Like, I really don't know. Well, you know what? No. Scratch what I said before about him looking like Jinru already. He looks like Deku. Scratch all that. Scratch all that. So he basically got up. He's like, guess who, and it was Deku. They're like, how are you alive? Yada, yada, yada. Deku's like, yeah, this is that. I don't know how. And, they accept this answer because how would you know how you came back to life? So, after that, Deku basically, he goes to the hospital for 3 weeks and he does the daily workouts. He makes sure that he does them because he remembers the tutorial made him go through the fucking, what's it called? What's it called? The punishment? Yeah, the tutorial made him go through the punishment, so he knows how bad it is. So he's like, yeah, I'm not going back there. That shit sucked. So basically, after that, Deku's like, you know what should I do? So he's like, he does his daily training. He looks like, Jinwoo now, because I wanted to do something. That's why I basically scratched that idea. So, he basically walks out, and he's like, yeah, I've been here for 3 weeks, so, can I get out now? And they're like, the lady in the front, she's looking down, she's like, yeah, sure. She gives them a paper. Deku signs it, she looks up to get it, and, she sees this hunk of man meat, but, she's like, she's like, she gives him her number, and Deku's like, do I still have other things that you want to check, because he's still kind of dense. So she's like, yeah, other things to check, basically the same shit Jinwoo did. So Deku's like, huh, that's cool, I guess, because, so Deku basically, he heads towards his house, because he's like, I'm so tired of this shit. So he just heads home. He knocks on the door, Inko opens it, she's like, do I know you? Hisashi's there, he's also very sad, right? Well, actually, no, he's not sad, because Deku came back. So he's like, looking around, he's like, do we know you, sir? Deku's like, sir? Like, they're like, yeah, you're he's like, you're an adult. Like, he's like, you're an adult? Like, shouldn't I call you sir? Deku's like, yeah, but like, it's kind of weird for you to call me sir, Basically, he's like, why is that? He's like, cause I'm your son, Like, they're like, what? Like, no, you're not a Zuko, blah, blah, blah. Basically, he explains, like, the I'm sorry thing that I said before. And then after that, he's like, I'm tired, so I'm gonna go to my room. So he heads to his room, then he sees all the All Might shit. So he's like, fuck, I forgot about this. Because, it's bad. So Deku's like, damn. So he basically, like, he's like, alright, I gotta throw this shit out. And he walks out, and, he stops. He's like, wait a minute. Let me think about this real quick. He's like, should I throw it all out? Or should I, reinvest? So basically, Deku just sells all his shit, alright? And, he gets, what's it called? He gets all of his shit bought out by one person. Because this person, like, basically paid so much for it. Like, Deku had some rare-ass figures. Like, some of them were, like, there's only 1 in 5 of them. So basically, like, Deku's like, damn. So basically, it's someone by the name of Future Sight, Future Sight for, I can see the future 24/7, basically, that's his name. Deku's like, damn, that's a pretty cool name. So, like, he's like, do you want me to deliver this myself, or you want it to go by Uber? Or not Uber, but, FedEx. And Deku, basically the guy, he types, like, ... He's like, if if FedEx brings me that shit, then it's gonna be broken by the time it gets here. Deku, he sends a laughing emoji, because that shit was funny. So, he gets all the shit. He walks over to the address that, this guy sent him. So he gets there. He sees, this big-ass hero agency. He's like, the fuck? Am I at the right place? No, he checks, and, lo and behold, it's the right place. So he goes up. He's like, yeah, I'm looking for, I can see the future, 24/7, like someone by the name of that. Basically she's like, oh yeah, 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 I know that guy. He's like, yeah, just go take a right there, and then go down the hall. There's a left, and then you'll get there. Basically, Deku does that. He gets to Night Eye's room. He's like, oh shit, you're Night Eye, and Night Eye is like, oh, you must be the guy who's selling me the All Might figures. And Deku's like, yeah, here's your stuff. Basically Ryuko and All Might walk in the room, right? So Deku's like, oh shit, because All Might and Ryuko are here. He's happy to see Ryuko. He's not so happy to see All Might. So, Deku's like, well, damn. Like, what are they doing here? So he's like, oh, who are these two? I recognize, the Dragon Hero, because he's low-key trying to hide who he is in front of All Might, at least. He really doesn't want to reveal himself just yet. So basically, he's like, oh, this is Toshinori Yagi, and this is, Ryuko, the Dragon Hero, of course. Basically, Ryuko goes to shake his hand, and Deku realizes that she doesn't recognize him either. So Deku's like, oh, hello there. Well, he shakes her hand, Basically, he's waiting for the transaction to be finished up. So he's just sitting in, the corner of the room, listening. And Ryuko's basically, chewing out All Might. She's like, how could you say that to that guy, blah, blah, blah. He has a true hero's heart. He's honestly amazing. Yeah, she's cursing out All Might while she's praising Deku, So Deku's, absorbing all of this in. He's like, because, Ryuko's saying stuff like, yeah, he's an amazing person. I've honestly talked to him a little bit, and he's very kind, yada, yada. He's a very nice, she's just talking about how great he is, basically. And she did break up with Ed Shot, because if you just move out of the way instead of pushing the other person out of the way of a gunshot, then obviously you're not meant to be together. Not gonna lie. But basically, so Ed Shot and Ryuko have broken up. So she's like, honestly, that guy is amazing, yada yada yada, stuff like that. So Deku, he's happy to hear all this. After a while of her chewing out All Might, they talk. Deku talks with Ryuko and what's it called, Toshinori. Ryuko's like, I swear I know this guy from somewhere. I swear it's on the tip of my tongue on who the hell this guy is. Deku's like, all right, well, I'm gonna head out. It was nice meeting you guys. Basically, it was nice meeting you guys. And he's like, well, I'll be seeing you later. Ryuko, Night Eye, All Might, it was nice seeing you guys. And, you heard what I said. He said All Might. So, basically he's walking out, and he realizes what he said. He's like, shit. So he starts walking a little bit fast. Basically, so they're all talking and drinking tea. And, basically All Might spits out blood. He's like, wait, did he just say All Might? And Deku was like, basically Night Eye's like, hold up, wait, he did say All Might. And Ryuko immediately busts through the door, and she runs, at Deku. Deku looks back, he's like, shit, and then he gets tackled. Basically, imagine what Mei Hatsume did to Deku in the thing. Basically that, but Ryuko instead of Mei. And she's like, basically she gets up real quick. She's like, how the hell do you know? And, everybody's looking at her. So she just shit. She grabs Deku, and she starts dragging him. Deku's like, no, wait, help me. And, he's getting dragged in there. So after that, she drags him in there. Basically, Deku's interrogated by Night Eye, All Might, and, basically Ryuko. And then they're like, Ryuko's like, how do you know that, he's All Might? Deku, he looks at her dumbfounded. He's like, wait, that's All Might? He's trying to low-key play this out they're dumb. He's like, wait, that's All Might? Holy shit, can I get an autograph? Yada, 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 this, and that. And, basically, Night Eye is like, don't trick me. You told me why you sold this. You wouldn't want an autograph from him. And Deku's like, shit. And, because he sold himself out. So he's like, damn it. You caught me, alright? And they're like, who the hell are you? Deku's like, well, I mean, I've seen All Might in his weak form, so who do you think I am? They're like, only a few heroes know about it, And Deku's like, well, maybe I'm a hero. And then, they're like, no, we've never seen you before, and All Might's never met you before, yada, yada, yada. Deku's like, maybe I'm a villain, he says this, with a dark tone. And basically, Ryuko, powers up her fist, and she gets ready to throw a punch. Deku's like, hold up, wait, it's me, it's Deku, it's Izuku Midoriya, wait. She stops, she's like, what? He's like, I'm Izuku Midoriya, alright? Remember Like, the guy who got shot for you, you wouldn't beat the shit out of the guy who took a bullet for you, right? She's like, bitch, how? Like, like, she's like, Cap. She's like, I call Cap, because she's like, nah, 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 nah. I did not just say all that in front of him, because, she was basically talking about how amazing he was. And, basically, like, Deku, he was absorbing it all, like I said before. So he's like, yeah, I'm honestly flattered of how amazing you think I am. And she's like, no, wait, Cap, bullshit, you're not the same person. Deku's like, what makes you think that, And then, they talk for a bit. Deku, like, basically sends her a text message over his phone, which, the contact is saved as Izuku Midoriya. So she's embarrassed now because she basically talked about how awesome and amazing and great he is in front of his face. Deku's like, I didn't know you thought of me that way, Yeah, he's messing with her. She's like, I didn't know you thought of me that way. All Might's so confused. He's like, so wait, who are you? And, Deku's like, I'm the kid who you told, couldn't be a hero. And, he's like, either way, what's it called? It was nice talking to you too, honestly. And Ryuko's like, she's like, hold up, wait a minute. She's like, what the hell happened to you? And Deku's like, I don't know what you mean. She's like, this. And, she just points at him. He's like, up and down. She's like, this. He's like, what? Well, like, what? You see something you like? And she's like now angry, like annoyed because Deku's messing with her a lot. So she's like, no, like, not like that. Just like, what happened to you? And basically Deku's like, listen, I get it. I look better now. I went from a solid, like, 7 to a 10. So, he's basically, like, stroking his own ego. Because, she did say he was a nice and handsome, like, man. Like, he was nice and he was handsome, yada, 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 yada. Stuff like that. She talked about him with Night Eye. And she was like, yeah, he's honestly an amazing person. Like, she was just talking about how great Deku was in front of his face. So she was like, yeah, you said I was handsome, right? So he was like, what do you think of me now? She backs up a bit because, Deku got closer. Basically she's like, yeah, don't count your chickens before they hatch. Like, don't get ahead of yourself. Deku's like, nah, don't worry. I'll make sure that, I claim this dragon. He leaves and, like, basically Ryuko's red and, Night Eye's laughing because Ryuko is his friend. And, basically he's like, I got, he recorded it the moment, she realized that this was the same person. He was like, damn, I am so sending this to Mirko. She's like, you better not fucking send it to her. But he already sent it by the time, he said that. Mirko's basically spamming her text like, who is he? Yada, 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 how do you know him? That, this, that, and third. So, Deku basically heads home, and, he's like, we'll skip to the next few weeks. Deku does his daily missions, but then one day he does a little bit extra, and he gets a D rank key. So, Deku, he's like, oh shit, a key, like, because it's a way to get into a dungeon. So Deku's like, alright, shit, I'll do this. No, I'll say a C rank, not a D rank. A C rank key. He gets there. He opens the key at, like, this restaurant, we'll say. And, I've already been through this, so I'm just gonna skip through the parts pretty easily. He fights some spiders, he kills them at the beginning. Then he gets to, like, the middle of the, what's called, dungeon, and there's, like, hyenas and spiders. And he's leveling up pretty fast. And now, like, he's fighting against, the Persian lion or some shit like that. The lion that Hercules fought that can't, like, be stabbed into. Basically, its hide is unbreakable. Deku, he's fighting that right now, and he's losing. And Deku's like, shit, what do I do? So he's thinking, he's like, alright, the hide is unbreakable. So basically, like, the lion basically comes at Deku, right? Deku just, like, dodges it, grabs the lion by its head, and then just, like, slams it back down. And, like, it opens the lion's mouth, right? And lion's, like, confused now because it actually opened it by, it opened it, like, out of, like, what it was about to try to bite him. But then before, like, the lion can even bite him, he stabs his sword into, like, the lion. Because the pelt, the hide of the lion is what's unbreakable. Like, that's the way he was thinking. So he's like, the inside is probably weak. So he just starts stabbing into the lion, right? Basically after that, the lion's been killed. So Deku, he's like, damn, that was a hard-ass fight, Basically, Deku gets a fang and, and a claw. So if you guys, you guys choose what weapon you want him to have. because I don't know, if you want him to have daggers, I can make daggers. If you want him to have a scythe, I can make a scythe. If you want him to have a sword, I can make a sword, all that stuff. But also about titles and stuff like that. Deku, he's not gonna be a necromancer in this because I really don't feel like making him a necromancer. I want to change it up a bit. That's why I even changed up this boss fight from the snake to a lion instead. So basically, I'm gonna change it up. He's not gonna be a necromancer. I don't really want him to be a necromancer. You can say some other shit, like you can say like, you know, what's it called? You can say like a hellhound or like a hell walker or some shit like that, where he controls fire. I was thinking a thunder god, what's it called, would be his upgraded version, but like the first one would be Tempest, and he can like summon like lightning out of his fingers and stuff like that, and like, you know, he can shoot out lightning. But when he gets the title of Thunder God, he basically becomes like Thor without his hammer. Like that's how I thought of it. But you know, if you guys have better ideas, you know, tell me, send it to me. I'd love to see them. You know, if you like my idea, you know, just say I like your idea. If you don't like it, you know, just say it's a shitty idea. Just shut up and, you know, keep doing different what ifs, you freaking idiot. Basically, you know, say that. But remember, check out my boy, New God of Destruction. Alright, get him to 1,000 because he deserves it more than me. And yeah, if you didn't like this video, honestly, it's my third time recording it, and it was like an hour in every time. So don't even be mad, alright? But yeah, I love you guys. Peace out.